So here starts the rear underneath refurbishment. I've got some time off work. I'm going to see if I can get it all done. Basically, going to try and strip the car back underneath from, just before kind of diff back. Redo all of that. I've got refurbished subframes. So I've bought a second set of everything. So I've done the front and back, but obviously I only need the back at the moment. So that's been sandblasted and powder coated. I've got what I think is a bit of a diff wind, so I've got a second-hand diff. I've cleaned it all through, completely sandblasted it, painted it up, got new seals both sides, resealed the back on. So that's the diff. I've got a second set of uprights, so I've put new bearings in both of these, put new rear shields on, so they're ready to go. I've got a poly bush to go in this hole here. I think it's around here somewhere, probably in there. Some braces that have been powder coated as well. I've got, when I get to it, so obviously I'm going to strip back all the paint. So I've got Gravitex, I've got built hammer wax to put in the sills and things. I've got new brake lines, a couple of poly bushes. I haven't gone poly bush all the way through. I've got another set that I've refurbished. So I've refurbished a whole set of rear arms, so they're all sandblasted and painted. Those are the new bearings that have gone in. I've got some angry wood attachments to get underneath and get all the paint off. Load of sundry bits, spray gun. I've got the right Mazda paint for painting over the Gravitex to make it silver. I've got a load of stuff, new rear tie rods, well, not tie rods, anti-roll bar links, and a load of brand new Mazda bolts that cost the earth. A couple of those, some nuts. We're using quite a lot of the old nuts because they're fine. I've got a new clutch, stage 1 clutch, and I've also got some Mazda CRDs to go on as well. So a lot of work to do, but really hoping to crack on this week. So far taken out the rear plastic panels from back here because wanted to pop through the ABS sensors because I need to keep those, and you also need to get to the top of the rear shocks if you're changing your shocks, so you can get them back there. Just noticed a little bit of rust, not happy about that. Oh, nasty. I'll get rid of that. Well, that's kind of the idea of this whole thing, isn't it? And then we're going to be dropping the whole subframe, and really we're going to try and do that all together. So we'll basically just disconnect these hoses. I've got new hoses, disconnect the handbrake down there, and then I'm hoping once we disconnect the diff, we'll basically just drop and disconnect the shocks. We're just going to drop the whole subframe with all the arms attached and everything like that. And then see what damage I've got underneath the car that I'm going to have to fix. So we've disconnected all the brake lines either side, we've disconnected the prop shaft, we've taken out the main strut brace, we've taken out the 2 side braces, and basically we're trying to take this out as one whole unit. So there's 6 nuts to hold the subframe on. Paul's already taken out 2 his side, so am I going to take out some on my side?
Yeah, shall we?
Yeah. And then which one have you still got to do? The middle one?
Yeah, I've left the middle one.
Oh, I'll take my middle one out. If I can get it on the actual... No.
Plus gas it. Do or die.
So we're able to get the one out up here with fire. Always the way forward when you're stuck. So in theory, that's it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does it wobble either way?
No, because I've jacked it up to hold it up.
Okay.
It's starting to drop.
Are we going to drop it? Literally
Yeah.
drop it?
Yeah. Careful with that jack, because it just suddenly goes.
That was very high pitched.
Yeah. There.
Stuck somewhere?
There's a handbrake cable on the subframe. Yeah, hang on.
Oh, okay. Did that work?
Yeah. Can you see your one?
Is it captive then, is it?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, it's not captive for long.
No. Let me go back on with the nut.
Right, we're back to having another go.
Yep.
Woo! Well, if there was something connected, it's not anymore.
I think.
You think that is how you take out a subframe? There's a washer, isn't there, on the
Yeah.
one with flats on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Good done. Have a good week, won't you?
Yeah. Alright, can you stabilise it?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yep.
Nice. So that is how you get out a subframe for a Mark III. You get a mate to come over and help you. That's what you do. You call in all your favours you can.
Yeah,
And
11.
huh?
We've got 11 favours.
11 favours left, have I? Cool. So let's have a quick look underneath and see how bad things are or how good they are. Who knows? So, it's not horrendous. These rear frames are, yeah, it's got some flaky rust, some rust around here, some rust up in these areas. A little bit across this member here, and you can see it coming through on those drop bits, and there's quite a lot on these front bits. I'm going to do sort of up to that bulkhead up there, so not bad at all. Good access now. It's up on jack axle stands, and can get to work on sorting everything out. So one thing that's been a bit of a bugger is getting the drive shafts out, because you've got to push the drive shaft through the spline of the hub. It's one tool I didn't have, so I just went and got a hub puller. I've done that side, used a bit of heat on that inner bit. I've got new bearings in my other upright, so I'm not worried about frying any grease or anything like that. So let's give it a go. So look underneath. So this panel is riveted on. I'm going to get that off because that looks like it needs doing behind there. Lots of surface rust on these rear beams. They're solid enough, they just need to get this crap off. All through here. It's pretty grim. Over on the other side, this lot looks like it needs doing. Again, side chassis rail, and again on the sides there. So if you want to keep these cars for a long time, you need to get rid of all this. It's going to be a job, but that's what I'm here to do. So let's give it a go. So having a look inside the boot, it's the kind of thing you really don't want to see. On this seam down here, I've actually rust killed around here a little bit, it's a bit messy. But there's basically daylight. They haven't seam sealed on the other side, they seam sealed on the inside, so the water's just sat underneath. It's rusting out there. It was coming out, rusting through here as well. Put rust killer on there, and then it's doing the same thing in that corner. And then what I'll do is I'll rust kill it and then seam seal it from both sides. So far I've done it all the way through here with the angle grinder. I've done quite a big strip here underneath. Now I'm going to do this section, just keep working my way back. I'm going to do all the way under here, just into the outer sill, and I'm going to do across here, and this bulkhead is where I'm going to stop. It's a bit blowy here today. The rain has been coming down, and thankfully I've got this gazebo, but it's starting to blow a little bit now. But basically, I've been working on this inner arch, so there was a little bit at the bottom there. I've got rust killer on it now. There was some, by all these like mounting screws that hold the inner arch cover, there was rust on all of those. There's some rust in this corner. Basically just sanded it all back, ground all the rust off, rust killed it, and then I'm going to paint the whole thing up to this seam line that runs along here. So I've completely sanded and rust primed one side of the car, most of the middle, and working my way across. Obviously there is still some residual rust. I've tried to get rid of all of it. Like, how far do you take it? But now is a little bit of a pick me up. I'm going to put some primer on to make it look pretty and make myself feel better. We're deep into the rear end restoration. I've still got quite a bit of rust filling and grinding to do that side. It's windy. But I needed some motivation, so it's only brushed on and it's one coat, but I've got the primer on the inner wing, suspension turret, all up through these rear chassis rails, down the chassis leg into that front bulkhead, and I've also done under there as well. So there's little jobs. Like, this is the charcoal canister from underneath. Been painting up the brackets, they were really rusty. Now the ones over there, they all need to be top coated. But obviously, as you can see, every single one of these clips is rusted out. So I ordered myself some new clips. So I'm just going to go through all of those and change all those. It's just good stuff to do while you're under there. So a little bit of an update. Things are going all right. It's not a job to be taken lightly, so I'm all primered up on the other side, so I've done about half. It's all primered up. I've done in the other wing as well, you can see there the inner wing. So now I'm on this side, grinding back, grinding, trying to get all the rust off, trying to get into all the little areas, like the back here is quite hard. Into the shock tower like the other side. I'm just going to work my way forward. Quite a lot of this has been done, and then I've got to do the inner of the rear sill there, and that panel, side panel. So once I've done, and that back panel. So I finished grinding on the second side. Now I'm going through and painting over everything with the rust killer. I won't make more of a video because watching me paint rust killer is particularly exciting. So let's get this done. So now everything's primed, both sides, all across the back. It's time for some seam sealer. I've never done this before. I'm using the U-POL Tiger Seal in black. I'm under no illusion that this is going to get really messy. It is paintable, so if it's not neat, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to blast over it with Gravitax anyway. So let's give this a go. Do it downwards so I can actually see the seam. I'm guessing that's how you do it. Okay, so I have just finished seam sealer. Like I said, I used Tiger Seal. Tried to get every affected area. One of the main ones was, that's not very good, sun's in my eyes. Main one was around these rear struts, tried to finish. And obviously this rear boot that we had the rust going through because the water could sit in that. Seam sealed all along there. Obviously, all the areas I could get to. Happy with that. The next process is the Gravitax, U-POL Gravitax. You can get it in different colours, I believe grey, white and black. I've got black. I've also read that it's good to heat the bottles up a little bit by putting them in warm water, so that's what we're doing. We're putting them in warm water.
I'm going to sound a little bit muffly because I'm wearing a face mask for spraying. I've got the Gravitax, heated it up slightly, feel it chilling already. Comes with the gun. They say to between 40 and 70 psi with the gun if you want the orange peely look. So I've got it set at the higher, near 70, I think it's pretty much 70. Let's give this a go. It's pretty good, isn't it? That orange peely factory look.
The Gravitax has now gone on. Oh, missed a bit. But generally, it's gone on really well. That orange peely look does give that OEM feel. So here it is, the back end. I've gone over the Gravitax with 38p, which is the colour of my car. I think it finishes it off nicely. All across those bulkheads. All at these sections. And into the inner wing as well. Sorry it's a bit dark, the lighting is a bit rubbish here. So one of my last rust preventative measures is to use Built Humber cavity wax, Dynax S50. Comes with a long lance, as you can see. Basically got in to all the holes, and it has a 360 nozzle on the end, so you just poke it in, spray to your heart's content into all the holes, and hopefully that will keep the moisture and rust at bay. So a little update, been working hard, got all the rear suspension back on, subframes in, all the reconditioned arms are in. Sorry, sunlight's not very good here, I'll move on in a minute. All my arms have got new rubbers on, so that's all good. I've got some Goodrich hoses in. Annoying thing is these are earlier models and they don't fit this upright, so you have to basically use some zip ties, but it's all gone in. Clean that up a little bit, brakes are on. Obviously I've now got Mazda shocks, so I've put those in as well. Working our way back through, roll bars on, I repainted that with new anti-roll bar links. All the new bolts are in, or mostly new bolts. Working our way around this side. Looks pretty smart, doesn't it? So no. This is when you start to think, hopefully it was all worth it, because it's been a long road. I'm absolutely shattered. This is day 9 of basically just continuously working on this car. Really full days. It just takes so much longer than you think it would. But I think it's worth it because it looks smart.